These are the 10 greatest Seattle cities with the biggest price drops in the first half of 2026. Buyers and sellers should pay attention. 5 of the 6 steepest declines are on the east side, including some of our most sought-after school districts. And every city on this list is already trending lower. Help you make the right real estate decision, I'm Maggie. Over the years, our team has helped 168 families and closed over $220 million in sales. Before we start, please give this video a like. It really helps our channel. Let's start with the number 10. Number 10 is Monroe Terrace. It was down 5.6%. June inventory was 34 homes, up 25.9% from last year. I-5 and light rail make the commute a strength, but the challenge is older housing and schools with less pull than the core Eastside. With more choices, buyers favor updated homes, so average older homes feel more price pressure. Number 9 is Lake Forest Park. It was down 5.7%. June inventory was only 17 homes, but that was up 54.5% year over year. The percentage looks large because the starting number was really small. It's a beautiful established community, but the prices are high and there's no direct freeway access. Expensive homes plus extra time on local roads make buyers more selective. Number 8 is Nokomi. It was down 5.9%. June inventory reached 45 homes, up 87.5%. It's far, prices are low, and the market rose too quickly during the pandemic. Remote workers traded a long commute for more space, but now people are back in the office. Inventory has almost doubled, and that earlier premium is still coming out. Number 7 is Mercer Island. It was down 6.1%. June inventory was 65 homes, actually down 4.4% from last year. Inventory didn't increase here, but the bigger issue is total price. Many homes are large and older, and buyers may face a major renovation. The luxury buyer pool is small, so a few unusual sales can also move the citywide number. Number 6 is Issaquah. It was down 6.2%. June inventory was 155 homes, up 25%. Issaquah benefited from remote work, and prices climbed quickly. To be direct, some homes simply became too expensive. Buyers are now asking whether a home is worth that price once they include the commute. Older homes, farther locations, and peak market pricing face the most pressure. Number 5 is Redmond. It was down 6.6%. June inventory was 179 homes, up 17.8%. The inventory increase isn't huge, but 3-month sales were down 24.3%. Buyers have pulled back. Redmond is tied too much to tech, so layoffs, stock volatility, and slower hiring can make buyers wait. Job access is strong, but average home can't expect the old premium. Number 4 is Kenmore. It was down 6.9%. June inventory was 97 homes, up 24.4%. My honest view is that Kenmore lacks one strong feature that separates it. The schools, commute, and neighborhoods are fine, but prices aren't cheap. Buyers compare it with Bothell, Lake Forest Park, or even North Kirkland. Without a price advantage, they may just choose somewhere else. Number 3 is Kirkland. It was down 7%. June inventory was 432 homes, up 20.3%. Listings increased quickly, especially in the north. Kirkland prices rose faster and remain very high. Buyers can compare Bellevue, Redmond, and Kirkland without rushing. An older home, noisy road, or weaker location must be priced realistically from day one. Number 2 is Bellevue. It was down 7.3%. June inventory was 526 homes, up 31.5%. Sales during the 3 months ending in June were also down 9.8%. Bellevue has more supply and fewer buyers. Its high-end market depends on tech and luxury buyers, and both groups are more careful this year. We're also meeting owners who are retiring, downsizing, or selling older investment homes with weak returns. An older house can't keep asking for a peak market premium. Number 1 is Sammamish. Its single-family price per square foot was down 7.7%. June inventory reached 225 homes, up 56.2%. Sales during the 3 months ending in June were down 6.4%. This doesn't surprise me at all. We've already felt how cold Sammamish has become. Many homes are listed and they are much harder to sell. Sammamish has excellent schools, a beautiful environment, and large homes, but the commute is a weakness. From Central or South Sammamish, you often need East Lake Sammamish Parkway or 228th before even reaching I-90, 520, or Bellevue. Back in the office, that extra time matters every day. Many homes also feel similar in age, size, price, and neighborhood style. Without a rare view, special lot, or better design, buyers can usually find another option easily. When inventory rises, those homes compete directly. Sammamish is very sensitive to the tech and remote work cycle. In a strong market, buyers pay for schools and space. In a slower market, the commute and high price are harder to ignore. North Sammamish can be more convenient, but central and south sellers need realistic pricing. I also want to mention one extra city, Woodinville. Its first half price per square foot was down 10.6%, even more than Sammamish. But the sales sample was smaller, so I'm treating it as an extra observation. I like Woodinville, but buyers paid a large lifestyle premium during remote work. Many neighborhoods still require local roads before reaching I-405 or 520. We've seen new detached homes move from nearly 3 million to the low 2 million range, and some townhomes from nearly 2 million to 1.5 to 1.7 million. These aren't same home comparisons, but 3-month sales were down 51.3%. The list shows two patterns. In many cities, inventory rose and homes started competing. Mercer Island and Woodinville show that inventory isn't the only issue. High prices, fewer sales, and too much earlier premium can also push prices down. Over 3 years, Redmond was still up about 16%, Bellevue 8.6%, Sammamish 8%, and Kirkland 5.4%. I see this year as the market giving back part of these earlier gains, not the Eastside losing all of its long-term advantages. For buyers, start with your work and daily life, then look at the commute, inventory, and price. If you work on the east side, I would still consider entry-level single-family homes in the core east side area. They are easier for the next buyer to afford when you want to sell. You don't need to guess the exact bottom, and you can't. If the payment works and you plan to stay for several years, focus on finding the right home at the right price. For sellers, the first list price is very, very important. Use recent sales, not the old peak prices. If the first 2 weeks are quiet, review the price quickly. And if the home's holding costs are very low, far below what you'd get in rent, you can actually consider whether selling makes sense. We've organized all 33 cities into one complete price change map. If you like a copy, please like this video, subscribe, and comment map below. Then use the pink link to claim it. I'm Maggie. I'll see you in the next one.